Hello once again, FantasyDaddy.com viewers. It's Bowe Fertig alongside James Boyer, and today we talk Faces in New Places Coaches Edition. Few coaches have changed teams. Which one do you see have the biggest impact in 2013?
I would definitely go Andy Reid here. You saw what he did in Philadelphia. He had plenty really successful seasons with LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, Michael Vick. Now he's got another little crew to work with, and Alex Smith, Jamal Charles, Dwayne Bowe, and we all see what these guys have done with not the greatest quarterbacks. So I think Alex Smith is going to kind of help that out a little bit. I like Andy Reid's West Coast, scheme. Dink and dunks, Alex Smith, screen passes to Jamal Charles all day long. I go Andy Reid, biggest impact.
Andy Reid, 7 out of the 14 seasons, divisional championship game, he reached that game. Top 10 in passing yards, 8 out of the 14 seasons in Philadelphia. Really highlights that offense through the passing game. One coach I see having a huge impact is Mark Trestman with the Chicago Bears. They switched a defensive-minded coach of Lovie Smith to Mark Trestman, more of an offensive-minded coach. Led the 2002 Oakland Raiders with Rich Gannon, and in the 90s led a Steve Young team. High-profiled offense, loves to spread the ball, shotgun. It's going to really get Cutler in that shotgun formation, really open up the field for him. I think all offensive players, Matt Forte, Jay Cutler is going to be a top 10 quarterback this year. Brandon Marshall had a great year last year and a tough year for offense in Chicago. So expect all those players to have good years. Who do you think will be, what coach would have the biggest improvement on their team in 2013?
I think the biggest improvement on the team would have to be, I would say, Mike McCoy, head coach for the San Diego Chargers. I think that San Diego Chargers fans have been waiting for this for a long time.
Yeah, they have.
Norv Turner, he was a great offensive-minded coach. I don't know if he was ready to be a head coach, and he's in Cleveland now. And you saw the struggles of Phillip Rivers last year, led the league in turnovers. He's a guy that I think has a lot better year this year with new offensive coordinator Ken Whisenhunt and head coach Mike McCoy, both offensive-minded coaches. You saw what McCoy did with two different types of quarterbacks in Denver, and Tim Tebow made him a winner, and Peyton Manning, we all know he's a winner. But I think Mike McCoy makes a big impact along Whisenhunt for the San Diego Chargers this year.
McCoy led Denver's offense last year, the 4th overall, best in the NFL. We've seen Ken Whisenhunt lead a quarterback and really one of only 5 teams that have 3 receivers over 1,000 receiving yards back in 2004 when he led the Cardinals to the Super Bowl. So I think that tandem, that duo is going to play huge in San Diego. I think with McCoy being the West Coast offense and Whisenhunt really making a difference downfield threat.
Watch out, AFC West, huh?
Yeah, I think Phillip Rivers could have a very good season this year. It's a good possibility with that tandem duo as coaches. I like Bruce Arians. You can only go up if you're the Arizona Cardinals. The last worst defense in the NFL last year, a vertical threat. He made guys like T.Y. Hilton and Donnie Avery look like studs last year because of his downfield threat. I see Larry Fitzgerald having a huge year, had his worst career year last year. 2 seasons had 100 receptions. I think Larry Fitzgerald gets those 100 receptions. Last year we saw Reggie Wayne do that in a Bruce Arians offense. Definitely. Single back system, loves to stretch the field. I think Bruce Arians is really going to help out this offensive attack, especially with Carson Palmer behind the snapper. Talk about some players. We talked about Fitzgerald. We talked about Phillip Rivers. Who are some other players who would have a nice year because of their coaches?
Gotcha. And we're going back to Andy Reid here in KC. I would say Jamal Charles. You saw what Andy Reid did with LaShawn McCoy over in Philadelphia. He had a season where he had over 20 touchdowns. He's multi-purpose yardage and behind in receiving and carries and everything. So Jamal Charles, he's had over 1,500 yards in a season. I wouldn't be too surprised if he does it again this year, and maybe close to 2,000 yards all-purpose for Jamal Charles this year under Andy Reid.
I think 2,000 all-purpose yards is a very it's due. I think 2,000 yards is possible for Jamal Charles out of the backfield, catching a lot of balls. LaShawn McCoy that is, and Brian Westbrook in their first year under Andy Reid, over 70 receptions. Jamal Charles' career high, only 45 receptions, so that number gets bumped up, as well as his rushing yards were there last year. I think they'll be there this year as well. I think Trent Richardson is going to have another great year under North Turner in Cleveland. North Turner has come out saying that he wants to get Trent Richardson 300 carries. Only 5 running backs last year were able to do that in the NFL. We're seeing a lot of duo tandems in the backfield with only one back in the backfield in Cleveland. I think Trent Richardson's going to have a good year. And I think C.J. Spiller will have a good year in Buffalo. I know there's a lot of talks on splitting time with Fred Jackson, but I think C.J. Spiller will be a great slot addition as well as in the backfield. He was only one of 2 running backs last year to average over 6 yards with him and ADP. Bringing in 2 offensive-minded coaches from Syracuse, Doug Marrone and Nathaniel Hatchett. They like to ground and pound the ball. They led all Big East in rushing attempts last year. They like to pound the ball, and I think because of that, C.J. Spiller will have a good year in Buffalo.
Rookie quarterback also there, so you know they're going to ground and pound.
And Chip Kelly. Let's talk a little bit about Chip Kelly. What do you see? Do you see the success in college translating into the NFL this year?
I think I definitely do, and I think with the players he has and the scheme he has, Chip Kelly's a guy that likes to get as many plays as possible in his offense going. And with Mike Vick, quick guys like Mike Vick, LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, he's going to throw a lot of guys off, I think, with the amount of plays he gets put out there when he's with possessions in the ball of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right. He ran a play like every 20 seconds. It was best in the FBS by far. It'd be best in the NFL. And because of that, I think they put up some points this year. He has a lot of the same type of athletes that he did in Oregon.
True.
The speedsters like Deshaun Jackson, LaShawn McCoy. Don't forget about Bryce Brown either.
Yeah.
Michael Vick at the helm. It's one of the reasons why he took this position, because they had Michael Vick at the quarterback position. Really electric player. He knows how to get his players in open space. He did a really good job at that in Oregon. And because of that, I think he does a good job in Philadelphia. It always seems like those type of offenses are one step ahead of the defenses. The defenses seem like they have to catch up. So in this first year, I see a lot of the production from Deshaun Jackson have a better year than last year. LaShawn McCoy, as well as Michael Vick, all those guys having good years because the defense is going to have to try to catch up to them this year.
Yeah, 2 speedsters on the outside, Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin. They're going to have a lot more production this year.